The black phone is ringing. Will you answer? Will you answer it? This is Will. This is Sci-Fi Guy, and we're going to be talking about phones, the 1970s, and Ethan Hawke becoming the next Vincent Price, or at least close. Yes, this is the horror movie that most everyone is talking about. It was released in September on Peacock, I believe, the streamer. In the theaters, it was released in June. Actually, the September date that I mentioned was for the film festival. It was released for Fantastic Fest, an annual film festival in Texas. So, right, for everybody else, the theaters, and for Peacock, I watched it on Peacock, thanks to my buddy Tom. And I just watched it last night, and I'm still thinking about it, and still thinking that you got to watch it. If you like good horror movies, great horror movies, and coming of age movies, ghost stories. It truly is a mashup, sort of a real smash mash mix up of genres. Some interesting notes here. It was written, well, the short story, The Black Phone, was written by Joe Hill, who is the son of Stephen King and a accomplished and successful writer in his own right. And so they took Joe's short story, The Black Phone, and Scott Derrickson and C. Robert Cargill did the screenplay, and then Scott Derrickson directed it. And you do know you do know Scott Derrickson's work. He was the director of the mega hit Doctor Strange, one of the great Marvel movies. And he was actually going to direct Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, the sequel, but he bowed out of that, and he found his way to this project. He answered the black phone. It rang and he answered. And as in many, many modern classic horror movies, very successful ones, we have Blumhouse Productions. We have Blumhouse Productions as the production company. So what's so special, spectacular, so different from the black phone? Well, the plot is simple. From the official wiki, 1978, a masked serial child abductor nicknamed the Grabber prowls the streets of a Denver suburb. Siblings Finney and Gwen Blake live in the area with their abusive alcoholic father. At school, Finney is frequently bullied and harassed. And that's, basically in a nutshell it. So that part is the coming of age, where the boy, the star, the focus, is Finney, played by Mason Thames or Thames. He's awesome. I mean, he was really familiar. He looked and sounded as if I saw him before, but I looked up his credits. I haven't seen anything that he's been in, but Mason does an amazing job in this. It's one of those performances where you completely believe they become the character. It's just, it's the art of sort of, acting. A lot of people say, oh, well, just remember your lines, hit your marks. But then there's some performances which just, the people become the character, and you just lose, yourself in the story. It becomes almost like a documentary, or you're really watching somebody's life. And then, of course, Ethan Hawke, who is the wow, he's the baddie, the serial abductor, uh, the evil one, the masked man. What's really disturbing, and certainly I would say unusual, if not completely, you know, not seen before, is we never see his face. He's always in a mask. For the majority of the the running of the movie, he's in several masks. They sort of alternate these really incredible, horrific fright masks. And what's really interesting, if you remember and know your classic horror, there's a movie, London After Midnight, starring Lon Chaney, and his makeup in that is very reminiscent of Ethan Hawke's mask in The Black Phone. Collider said the mask in the poster evoked Lon Chaney's character from London After Midnight. And I'm not quite sure if the special effects team or the director producers wanted that. It seems so. So it's a really stark and unforgettable look. And again, they use different masks, or they alter them. So it'll be the same type of mask and look, but it will have a different expression. So there'll be this really evil, you know, wicked grin, and then there'll be a frown. It'll have a sort of a sad face or a mad face. I think what might be difficult for some, however, is if you don't know or prepared for, again, this mixing and mashing of genres. So you're not getting this straight slasher horror movie, scary flick, supernatural ghost story. You're getting this sort of mix of this coming of age, this drama about a boy and his sister with their alcoholic father, abusive. So that's a large part of the film, and it's one of the best parts. Heidi Venable of Cinema Blend points out that she compliments the child actor's musical score and screenplay and writes, quote, "It sounds like this Joe Hill adaptation should please moviegoers, as long as audiences know they're in for something deeper than just tried and true jump scares." So I wasn't really expecting that too, but then, watching it on Peacock, there's a little summary, and it said, it's coming of age or such, and so I was sort of prepared for that as well. But I think in the end, it's you just have to watch something, prepare, for the unexpected, and just let it wash over you, and try to, live it and give it its full worth and credit, and give it your time to say, are you going to convince me? Are you going to entertain? Move me, inform. I mean, there were times when I was moved to tears, to screaming out, "Answer the phone!" And I think that's a common thing in movies and TV, when a phone rings and the director decides that the ring should go on and on. It's something where psychologically we're like, answer the phone, and this is no different. And just answer the damn phone. So Ethan Hawke certainly answered the phone, and as I say in my write-up, and I'll repeat here, he really is becoming. I say Vincent Price because that truly is one of the great horror sort of actors in history. Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, but Vincent Price is one of the favorites, and he certainly, and I think also, of course, Vincent Price had a great career before and after, and Ethan Hawke does. I mean, by no means is he just making horror films. In fact, he just did a great Paul Newman documentary on HBO Max with Joan Woodward and Paul Newman, a great Hollywood couple. So, he's written novels, he does plays, so he does everything, but he's becoming known for this go-to guy as, an awesome character, either villain, good guy or bad guy in a film, in a horror film. And in box office terms, The Black Phone has done great. As of September 5th, 2022, The Black Phone has grossed $89.6 million in the US and Canada, and $68.7 million in other territories, for a worldwide total of $158.3 million. And so the question always is posed with a big box office hit: will there be another? Will there be many more sequels, franchise? From the official wiki, the director says that while Hill was protective of his story, the author had pitched him a wonderful idea for a sequel that he was open to directing if the first film was a success. In August, Derrickson and Hill confirmed that there were discussions with the studio to make a sequel. Derrickson referred to the financial success of The Black Phone as one of the catalysts for the development of the project. Hill said his inspiration to writing a sequel was based off the iconic imagery of the grabbers' masks. And that's, again, one of the really interesting and original and cool things that it's, like you have the Scream series or the Michael Myers Halloween with Michael Myers mask, with the William Shatner Kirk mask turned boogeyman. So instead of having the same mask, there are variations throughout the film. Again, angry, sad, laughing. So it's, again, the same mask, but in different facial expressions. It's just a great idea, you know, to see if the Scream guy was, had sort of a laughing face or a sad face. And it sort of puts you off kilter. It's like, ooh, he's sad now, or he's angry, or he's laughing, or he's, spaced out or such. And of course, when an actor is behind a mask, they don't have their eyes, their facial expressions. Well, you can see his eyes, true, but I'm saying it's much more limited. So Ethan Hawke just brings this amazing voice, this disturbing, at times, pitiful, pathetic voice, and sort of body language, but his face is covered in the mask, so it's him communicating pretty much everything vocally and body language. And he's amazing. So that is the black phone. It's ringing. Will you answer it? I think you should. I think you'll enjoy. So, are you enjoying Sci-Fi Guy? I hope you are. If so, have you subscribed? If not subscribed, you'll get all the updates. It's free. There is the paid function, the paid people. $4.99. You get some nice exclusives and goodies, either or. You'll be with us. You'll be updated. We hope you're enjoying. We want to hear from you, your feedback. Go answer the black phone. It is ringing.